Volkswagen has just announced the closure of 3 plants in Germany, while Audi will stop production at a factory in Belgium. The European automotive sector seems to be in crisis. But the German industry sees itself in a transition period with a switch to electric cars. This comes, however, at a high cost, as EV car production requires fewer employees overall than in the past. According to a new study, the transformation of the German automotive industry could lead to 186,000 job losses over the next 10 years, and a quarter of those have already been lost. The German Association of the Automotive Industry thinks that other jobs will be created, but this requires to work on competitiveness.
In the future, the location side, the attractiveness of the location side decides where investments are made and where future jobs will be established. Yes, there will be jobs that won't be needed that much anymore, but with the digital era and everything concerning software, but also the electric mobility itself, of course, there will be a lot of new jobs created. So we need to make sure that Europe, that Germany has the attractiveness, the competitiveness that the investments are made here.
According to German car makers, the key to this is cheaper energy, which is 4 times more expensive in Europe than in China and the United States. On the other hand, they disagree with the European tariffs on electric cars made in China that have just entered into force. But according to the NGO Clean Transport, the new tariffs will give the sector breathing space during the switch.
The tariffs will not change the entire dynamics completely. Maybe instead of importing those electric vehicles from China, we will see a lot more factories here in Europe where Chinese manufacturers are producing those vehicles locally, which can also be good news for Europe. In terms of pricing, there might be indeed some short-term effects where maybe there's less vehicles available, very short term, for example, or the prices are a bit higher. But generally, it's very hard to say because it really depends on the pricing strategies of Chinese car makers, and a lot of them have very comfortable profit margins.
According to the expert, policymakers and the European Commission have an important role to play in simplifying the business environment for green industry. But it is also important to convince people to switch to green vehicles as quickly as possible. Sales of new cars have fallen sharply, 18.3% fewer than in the same period last year. As for electric cars, sales are stagnant in Europe, but growing globally.